So what am I doing? I am remaking the threaded rod because the United States Postal Service managed to lose it in process of getting it to its new owner. Even though after extensive testing on putting it in a padded flat rate envelope surrounded by cardboard and 2 layers of packing tape, the U.S. Postal Service decided that it didn't want that threaded rod to arrive in the package. So got to its destination and it was no longer in there. So it is somewhere in between, probably some sorting facility. So we have to make another one, which is rather unfortunate. But since I've done this, this will be my 3rd time making this. The first time we had this failure down here, right here. And that was because I failed to have a tailstock on there. And this will actually give you, I've had a couple people make some comments, really like the tips, really greatly appreciate them. To explain a little bit about my setup here. So I've got my dead center here. I do have a live center right here, but unfortunately the live center, this big part of the live center, it just doesn't work with how close I need to be. I do realize that I could make this with a tap and die, or with a die. I actually have the correct die, but the point is, I want to learn how to do this here. Somebody made the comment that I have my dial indicator here on the carriage of the lathe. The reason it is there is because the set screw on this dial right here is busted off in there, and so until I take all of this apart and get that set screw out, we're kind of left with this is how I indicate 0. This one works just fine. This set screw is in there, but this one is broken. So I'm going to set the camera up, and I believe we are headed for 0.310. I think that's my target. And we are at, and I'll get my mic out when we get closer, we're at 0.3775. So we've got an additional probably approximately 6 thousandths to take off, or 60 thousandths to take off. So we're going to work on that, and I will set the camera up and you can watch me. Sorry, I don't have any fancy camera setups yet. Just kind of one of those things. Running the lathe right at 600 RPM, probably a little slow, but it is what I am comfortable with. And now I've forgotten where my 0 is at. I am taking small cuts. Nothing too big or fancy for me. Bring it back out to 0. Take it down. Drive it in. Engage. Oops. That's where I was at last time. Sorry. See, filming in Filming and doing this is actually very hard for me to do because it takes a lot of concentration for me to do this. Actually, here, we'll take a little bit bigger bite. All right, I'm gonna screw something up, so I'm gonna go pay attention, and I'll come back when I do the reliefs for the threads. All right, so we've got it turned down to 0.310, and our diameter should be somewhere between 0.3138 and 0.305, so about spot in the middle. That's where I wanted it. It took me about 3 more passes and then one kind of cleanup pass. I really still don't like the surface of it, but I don't know. I've just got to do some reading. Probably because I'm running the lathe too slow. That's my guess. But anyway, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my relief in here. But how I'm going to do that is I'm actually going to take this tool out. I'm going to get my threading tool. And I'm going to set in here, and we're going to see, because my threading tool sticks out a little farther. Probably got to get to put this back in later. Back this up, because ultimately what I need to decide to do is to decide where my threads need to go. So I can get in there right there. Back up just a little bit. Hopefully everybody can see what I'm doing. I'm basically trying to make sure that I'm not going to run this threading insert into the dead center right there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this on. Just make me a mark right there so I know I need to take from the dead center to that mark right there. I need to take it down to about 0.19, and I need to come in a little back here to put my relief in there. That'll let me get my threads through this area right here, and at the end I'll just come and take off this end right here. Unfortunately, I broke my parting blade. I dropped it on the floor, so I broke the end off. I don't know if I showed you that carnage. Where's it at? There's the carnage of that. Just dropped it straight on the floor, picked it up, and just plop. Broke that off. So I could flip it around, but it's cracked in the middle. So I got to order another one of those because I didn't get any spare tips for this because I wanted to see how they worked out first. So let me get set up to put those reliefs in, and we will go from there. Alright, do a little threading here, at least how I'm doing it. I've got the lathe running in back gear. I've got it running at 20 threads per inch, so it's an A3, 3A. And then I've got it, since it's in back gear, it's this black one right here, so we're running about 84 RPM. Works fine for what I'm doing. So how this is how I learned. I'm not telling you how to do this, but this is how I'm doing it. So I've got, as I mentioned earlier in this video, my dial here is loose. It's not going anywhere because of the broken set screw. So I'm using my dial indicator here. I'm not sure why. That's just how that needle vibrating like that is just how sensitive it is. The machine has little to no vibration in it. When I first saw that, I went around, checked all the feet, put the machinist level on it, leveled it again, and it's just how sensitive it is. And probably how unstable that whole setup right there is, and really need to get this dial fixed. But what I'm doing is, right now, I'm going to take the compound set to 30 degrees, some people say 29 degrees, and I'm going to feed the threading tool in 5/1000ths. We're going to get over here to our threading dial right here. We're going to get to 1 in this particular case. Since it's an even number, I can go any one of the lines, and we are now threading. So basically what I do is I engage the half nut lever. We're going to get to the end, disengage the half nut lever. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to back the cross feed off. I'm going to move it back down to the end, like that. And I'll put the cross feed back to 0. Cross feed's back to 0. And I'm going to feed it in another 5/1000ths. And then my half nut lever, we're going to get it to 1 again. Just happens to be where it's at. Any of the lines work. Engage the half nut lever, and we'll thread some more. And then we get to the end. Disengage the half nut lever. Back to cross feed off. Okay, get back down to the original end. Feed the cross feed back in. And feed the compound in another 5/1000ths. This time we're going to start on 4. Disengage the half nut lever, take it out, and back down. Feed it back in. Another 5/1000ths. So I'm gonna keep doing this, and I'll come back when I'm a little bit closer to getting it threaded. All right, so I've already test fit this once. This is the second time. Had to do a little bit of cleanup. It's actually should be relatively tight. It's a little bit tighter fit than the last time. And it is. I mean, you can see it spins, but not nearly as loose as last time. I like this fit quite a bit better. In fact, it's kind of, oh, there you go. You can put it on with your fingers all the way. But it's not overly loose, that's for sure, which is nice. So I think I'm just going to leave it there. I have run the file over the threads to make them a little bit smoother, but you can see the threads there. So now it's just down to getting this nub off. Now last time I used a hacksaw to get it off. Trying Trying to think. I really wish I had my parting blade, but actually no, I don't, because I'd put a lot of pressure on it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to back the workpiece up into the chuck a little bit, recenter it maybe right here. That way I can chamfer this edge right here, and I'll figure out some way to take that off. So I'll go ahead and get that set up and we'll run from there.